Eyup everyone, my name is Hutch and I hope you're having a great day. So for this video, this is probably the first time that I've got frustrated with a build, scrapped it and made something quite random. I wanted to build a cottage but it wasn't working out. I initially wanted to make a tiny cottage, so I was playing around with stuff off camera, just building, getting the shape of it. I was looking at a few pictures, but yeah, it weren't working out, so I got rid of that. Then I started building like a Victorian build, like a smaller one compared to the last one I did, and I didn't like that either, so then eventually moved on to this. Yeah, and in the end I really like this house and how it turned out, so it just goes to show that your ideas don't always work out the way that you intended, but it don't mean that they're no good and that you have to give up, which I'm going to be honest, giving up and getting like pissed off with it and turning it all off and just going, oh, I'll leave it then, that's my normal like reaction, but this time I decided to like stick at it and just try something else. I mean, obviously that only works for so long, you don't want to like get yourself in a bad mood and stuff, but yeah, decided to build this tiny house. It's built on a 20 by 20 lot. It uses cats and dogs, get together and Nifty knitting stuff, and it has one bedroom, one bathroom and a decent sized garden, I'd say. I actually started building this house on that lot in Windenburg that's on that island. I always forget the name of that, but it started off there, but I didn't feel like it suited that area, even though I really like that island. I love building stuff on there. But yeah, it just didn't really suit like the island. It's kind of like a foresty area, even though it's on an island. So yeah, I moved it into this lot instead, but it'll fit any 20 by 20 lot. This is actually the same lot that I built the floral cottage on. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in a card. But yeah, I thought it suited this area a lot better. So this house is a tiny home residential. More specifically, it's a tier 3 small home, I think it's called. So yeah, those are the build details. I think I covered everything there. I built this house with a single sim in mind, but there is a room for 2 sims and like a pet, or maybe you could fit 2 pets here. But I made it for a single sim and her dog. The sim I have living here in my game is into like knitting, and she's going to make a living selling her creations either on Plopsy or with like a stall. But all this time I've still not really played with the Nifty knitting yet, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, you could have any sim living here. There is some like knitting stuff like the rocking chairs and that. So yeah, I might try and do that soon. But I've been playing other games lately, so I've not really played The Sims much other than just building. But yeah, I'll have to try and sort that out and actually play with it properly so I can form like an opinion on it, because I don't really have one for knitting. I like the pack, like the building stuff. I like the idea of knitting and making a living off it, but yeah, I've not actually played with it. But anyway, how are we all doing then? How are you all getting on? By the way, I said how are you all, not y'all. I don't know why it came out like that. Anyway, did you have a good weekend? Did you get to rest, or were you busy? Did you have like plans? Mine was pretty average. Managed to get tidied up with my partner on Saturday. Kind of like worked together to get our house like tidied and stuff, because it's been a bit not like proper messy, but you know when you just need to get a ton of it done, you just need to get sorted with the house. So we did that, and Sunday I could feel myself feeling a bit burnt out, so I mean not from cleaning, but just the week before was pretty full on. So Sunday I was barely functioning, and today I'm pretty much the same. Very slow to get things done or even started, but that's alright, it happens. Just need to make sure that I rest and don't force myself to do things that I'm not capable of just yet. Burnout is really like common for autistic people, but autistics obviously experience it as well, so just make sure that you get your rest when you can, wherever it's possible, and do whatever form of self-care helps for you. For me, literally doing nothing and just sitting with a blanket and watching videos on my phone is just really helpful. But I get that it's like hard to let yourself just do nothing or just do fun things, isn't it? I guess if you've got stuff to do, it's hard to like put that to one side and not do it. I know I struggle with that. Sometimes I'll force myself to do things at the expense of like my mental health and my mental well-being and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's really important to do that if you can. Obviously I know some things it's not like you can just not go to work or not take care of your responsibilities and stuff just because you're feeling a bit burnt out and that. I get that. But yeah, just wherever it's possible is the point of that, or the long story short, as I should put it better. But yeah, so by this point in the video, we've moved on to the lot that it's like done on, the final version is built on. For like the landscaping, and I knew I wanted to have some kind of like wraparound path. In my head I thought that maybe a dog would like running around that, but I don't know, it's been a few years since I've had a dog, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't think a dog would really enjoy running around in circles on the same like path, but I don't know, maybe it would. In The Sims it probably would, but yeah, I just figured having that nice like wraparound path just added like a nice touch to the house. I was going to do like an outdoor grilling area, and I do put down like a table with that like umbrella thing and some chairs. I still might, I don't know. I think I thought of that initially. I thought when I put those chairs down on the table, I thought, oh, I'll do like a outdoor like barbecue area or whatever. But I think by the time I'd finished the build, or when I'd got round to doing like more landscaping later on, because I do a bit of landscaping to start off with, then I do the interior, then I finish off some landscaping later on. Yeah, I think I kind of thought to myself, oh, I'll do it later, and then I totally forgot by the time it came to landscaping, so I just didn't even do it. But I might add one. It's just a little bit of an awkward space. I don't know how I'm going to make it or get it to look right, but you could just bang like a barbecue down, it wouldn't really make a difference. But yeah, I think it would be nice to have like an outdoor like little seating area. I'm also going to add like a bookshelf thing, like a stack of books that you can use as the bookshelf. Put that on a table maybe, so you could have it as like a reading area outside. But yeah, I think I just forgot. Like when I first put the chairs down, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that eventually, but then I just like forgot. So anyway, like I said, I do some landscaping first, and then I go on to the interior. For the interior, I just wanted to keep it. Oh, by the way, the reason that I did that is because I'm like going from one subject to another before it's like time. But when I was doing like the outside, there's like a corner that I kind of leave blank on purpose because I weren't sure if I wanted to add a pond there or not. I think initially I did think maybe if it's a starter home, tiny home, but I don't know, I think I lost that idea pretty early on when I was doing the landscaping. And when you like start putting a few bushes down and the rocks and all that kind of stuff, you like lose track of the budget pretty quickly, so it ends up being a lot more expensive than a starter home would be. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do another starter home at some point because I do find them like a good challenge and stuff. But yeah, that's why it didn't end up being one, because I wanted to do more with the landscaping and stuff. But yeah, I did want to do a pond, but I think I just weren't fully decided, so I decided to do the interior and then kind of see where it took me. So I do the pond at the end. It's nothing like too over the top, just a basic pond really, but I were going to do like a fountain thing and try and do this like custom made fountain, but like I said, with me feeling a bit like burnt out on that, I think I just weren't fully there. I think by the time I'd finished the build, finished recording and everything, I think I just thought, oh, we'll just have a basic like one singular fountain. So that's why there's like one bit of like water coming out of the pond in the screenshots, which I don't know, like I've seen ponds like that where they just have one like thing of water coming out, but it doesn't normally like shoot that high. It sounds so weird, but like my I'm trying to think which family member it was, but because it was like a long time ago, I used to go and visit them, and they had a pond in the garden, and they had like a singular, like, I guess it is a fountain. I was going to say it's something else, but like a little fountain that came out of the water. And they just had like goldfish, I think, in a pond or something, or I don't even know, but it was like a little like fountain of water, like really tiny. So I thought when I was building the house, I thought putting that little, I don't know what to call it. I feel really weird saying water squirter, but it's a fountain, isn't it? But yeah, putting that fountain down, I didn't know it had that much water come out of it. I don't know why I'm finding this so uncomfortable to talk about. I think it's just talking about squirting and water and shooting it up and whatever. I'm going to talk about something else now because I'm feeling a bit like if I carry on talking about this, I'm going to make people uncomfortable. Anyway, it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. We're talking about a water fountain. But yeah, I didn't realise that it shot up that much water. So in the screenshots, you'll see this just singular, like, water fountain. I don't know, it might look a bit silly, but it's in there now. So yeah, anyway, the interior. For the interior, I wanted to keep it quite light and use a lot of like white wood and like lighter wood tones and stuff. For the upstairs bit, it is quite a big upstairs area, so you could probably fit, if you wanted to make it a 2-bedroom house, it probably could fit one if you really wanted to, but it was intended with a single sim in mind, so I never thought about doing that. But yeah, it's quite a sizable bedroom, and I did that like little balcony thing, which were an accident really, because I didn't intend to have it as an actual balcony. Those like weird triangular window things I did, I saw like a picture of a house on Pinterest that had them, and I thought they looked kind of like cool and like unique. I've not really seen an actual house that looks like that, but I didn't anticipate what that would be like on the inside of the house, like on the inside of the build. It's just like an awkward corner, isn't it? And there's not many pieces of furniture that fit in to a corner like that, and because it's a tiny house, so you're limited on space. So I think I pulled it off all right. When we get onto the living room, you'll see that I just put a chair in one corner, and then it's like the feeding area for a pet on the other side of the house. But the upstairs like version of it, it looks like it's going to be a balcony, but it doesn't, like on the left side of the house. I hope I'm explaining this well. I don't think I am. I think I've distracted myself talking about that water fountain and squirting and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so for the interior, I wanted to keep it quite bright and like neutral kind of, but also, I don't know, like I want to say neutral, but then I do add a lot of like colour to it in some ways, but mainly like bright and opened up, because there's not many like windows, not a lot of light going on. I think that's a good way of making like smaller houses look nice, but then I also like the look of like darker interiors and stuff on small houses. I did this, like, I think it was a base game starter home I did ages and ages ago now, and that had a lot of like darker tones on the inside, and I think that looked alright. But I think for houses like that, you just need a lot of light going through them, otherwise it can look quite shadowy and dark on the inside. But I guess it just depends on what kind of style you like. But I quite like how it turned out, the interior. The living room I did struggle with. You'll see when we get onto that, there's a lot of back and forth between different swatches and deciding what I wanted, because I wanted to use that couch that comes with cats and dogs, but because I like the shape of the couch, I like that it's got cushions on it. I thought that it suited this build fairly well, but I just don't like the swatches of it. There's some really like weird swatches of it that just don't look right in my opinion, or they look a bit odd. I feel that way about a lot of stuff with cats and dogs. There's loads of nice swatches like the whites, and there's like this it's kind of like a light wood. It's in between like a light and a dark wood. It's kind of like a caramel shade of wood, but that's really the only like shade of it, or the only swatch of it that exists. Like, it doesn't really match up to anything else. So when you're using cats and dogs, you've got to use it with other cats and dogs stuff. It doesn't like match other things. So say like think of a pack that does match pretty well. So like Get Together has some good stuff that matches with other packs. Island Living's another one. It has unique shades, but it also has like your basic black and white and like light wood swatches. But with cats and dogs, and the same goes for like movie hangout stuff, the shades of the woods that are in that don't match up to the other swatches that are on the other items. But yeah, I guess that's just me saying we need universal swatches. Like, it's a common thing that people in the community want. But yeah, but like I said, with that awkward like corner thing, I did kind of regret it a little bit. I thought, oh, it looks nice on the outside, like it's something a bit different, but then on the inside it's just not as good. It's a bit like, oh, what I'm going to put here. When I was doing the floor plan, or maybe it wasn't even then, I think it was when I was just doing, I think it was after I did the upstairs bit, when I was just figuring out where I wanted things to be off camera, because sometimes I'll do that. I'll like experiment with putting counters down and a dining table, and I'll like mess around with it, because otherwise when you record that, it just looks a bit, I don't know, like it adds way too much time to your video. I could be doing that for a whole 20 minutes, half an hour, But then to cut that down to about 6 minutes worth of footage, it's a bit pointless because it doesn't go anywhere. So I just choose not to record that, and then I'll record what I'm actually going to do. But yeah, we're playing around with it off camera, like I said, and where the kitchen ends up being, that was going to be the living room because it's a bit of a bigger room. But I think it does work out a lot better this way, because with the smaller room kind of just suit it being a living room, because all your Sims do is sit down in there, whereas in a kitchen your Sims are like walking around. Obviously there's like a dog in there or a pet. Whether you've got a dog or a cat, you can fit either in. But yeah, the corner, initially I was a bit like, how am I going to fit a counter there, or what am I going to put there? And I were going to put the dining table there. I was just going to have one of those square, like, I'm going to say singular dining tables. They're like the smaller ones that fit like 4 seats to them. I was going to put one of them in that corner and have that as the kitchen, but it just wouldn't have worked out right. It would have made a really awkwardly shaped kitchen. It wouldn't have made sense in terms of like the floor plan and like the layout of the house. So I'm glad I went with it like in the way that I actually did in the end, and putting the kitchen in there. But again, it was still a bit awkward with like the living room and stuff, like filling out the space. And I don't know, I think it's just tiny houses, I always find them a bit difficult. I like a good medium-sized house where it's not too big that I don't know what to put in it, but it's not too small that I'm like cramping in furniture and having to play test it 4 or 5 different times because people can't get through it, like the Sims can't walk through it and stuff. But it is all play tested. Everything works just fine. I didn't think that the balcony was going to work with the rocking chairs, because the way that the rocking chairs they're not just like a square on the grid, they're kind of like a 2 square on the grid, if that makes sense. So they take up like a bit more room in terms of while they're on the grid. But they work just fine. You can actually push them up like to walls and stuff. But yeah, they work just fine. You're able to have 2 Sims sit up there. Like I said, it's all play tested. The dog can reach the bowl or cat or whatever you have in there. I say whatever you have in there. There's only cats and dogs in there. But yeah. If only we could have a different animal, but anyway. But yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. If you want to download this build, it'll be on the gallery now. My gallery ID is SimsHutch. That's always linked in the description, as well as any other like lot details and stuff. Also, let me know if you want me to start and include the price of the lot. A lot of my builds can be like quite expensive and that, and I know not everybody plays with like the free real estate cheat. I pretty much do all the time, unless I'm actually playing a specific household that is like starting out, or if I'm doing like a rags to riches or whatever. But yeah, let me know if you want me to start and include that. It's an extra step, but I'm happy to do it if that's what people want. Usually I don't do it just because I don't know why I don't do it, I just don't. But sometimes the lot price is a bit awkward, like what it says it is on the gallery isn't what it is when you place it. So I don't know if that, I think that's probably why I don't include it, because it's never right. Like I've done it before where I've seen it before, where when I used to play on console, I know I'm meant to be wrapping up the video, but let me just get this thought out of the way before it ends. When I used to play on console, I used to read the description, see what the price was, get it, but it was not what the price was on the gallery when I actually placed it. So either way, let me know if you want me to start and include that, and I will do. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Consider subscribing if you'd like to. We don't only talk about squirting water fountains here, we talk about all sorts. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!